There are several types of fishing line out there. Some cheap, some expensive, some's really bad, some's really good. But if you ever had questions like, am I using the right fishing line for my application, what I'm trying to do? Well, you're in the right place. I'm here to help you sort through all these line types and show you exactly what you need to be doing. If you love bass fishing or fishing in general, subscribe to my channel. I post 2 videos a week to help teach you how to catch more fish. And there will be videos just like this one in a playlist called Fishing Fundamentals. When you're done watching this video, click the little eye and I'll help you catch more fish. So the first line we're going to talk about is braid. Braid can be really expensive or really cheap. Don't buy the really cheap stuff. That stuff will unravel and fall apart within a few fishing trips. If you're going to buy braid, buy a braid that has at least 8 strands in it. I prefer Sufix 832. It's a pretty solid braid and I've not had it unravel on me yet. So braid is very visible, so you really aren't going to want to use it to tie to baits that you use in high visibility situations such as clear water or using it fishing a point or something like that. What you want to do is use it like flipping weeds where visibility is very low, or you're going to use it on top water because this line likes to float and is really useful like if you're popping a frog or throwing a frog over some matted grass. Put some 40 or 50 pound braid on there and you can yank that fish out of there like it's nothing. I personally love to use braid on my spinning tackle. The reason for this is braid doesn't have any line twist associated with it because it has a low memory. It doesn't have that curl that I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. You cast out there and you see a little curl on your line. It does not have that. Really good for spinning tackle. So what I like to do there is get 15 to 20 pound test and then tie a really long leader on it. And the leader can be 8 pound test, it could be 6 pound test, it could be 15 pound test. Just depends on the type of tactic I'm searching to do that day, but it's interchangeable and very versatile. So a trait about this line that I should warn you about is that this line has no stretch. Braid is very sensitive, so everything that happens to your lure is going to be immediately transferred to your tip of your rod. So be careful on your hook sets when you have leaders on with your spinning tackle. It's very easy to break off because all the stretch is going to come from your leader and your rod. None will come from your braided line. Another trait about braided line, it is typically about half the diameter as these other lines we're going to talk about. Sometimes it's even less for the same pound test. So when you tie your knots, be sure you adjust for that. So the next line that we have is fluorocarbon. This line is expensive and there's really not much way to get around it. Berkley makes Vanish, which is 100% fluorocarbon. It's a little more affordable, but it's still kind of pricey. So this line is pretty versatile because it is ultra clear, but it also sinks. So you may want to be wary of that when you're tying it to something that floats, such as a jerk bait or a top water bait. Not a very good combo. You can still do it if you have to, but I advise against it. Now, similar to the braid, this line doesn't have a whole lot of stretch, but it does have some. So still be careful with your hook sets so you don't break off. But it does have a little bit more stretch than the braid. The braid has none. This guy has just a little bit. All right, the next line on our list is an oldie but a goodie. It's the good old mono. The monofilament line has been around for a very long time and is the mini choice of a lot of anglers. This line is just extremely affordable and is great for the weekend warrior. If you only go fishing a few times a year, this line's great for you. Some notable traits about this: it is clear. It's not as clear as the fluorocarbon, but it's still clear in color. It likes to float, so it's good for the topwater bite. And it has a lot of stretch. So when you're putting those big hook sets on, that line can absorb a lot of power so you don't rip the fish's mouth out or break your line off. I rarely use mono anymore because I like to use copolymer line. There's several different types of copolymer lines out on the market, but the one that I like is Pline floroclear, which is a fluorocarbon coated line. It has almost the same amount of ultra clear quality that the fluorocarbon has. And it has stretch that is between that of mono and fluorocarbon. So that's an added advantage in my book. And the third part of this is it is affordable. It's a little bit more expensive than mono, but not quite up there to fluorocarbon. I use this type of line as my workhorse line. That's mostly because I go fishing quite a bit and I change my line a lot. Sometimes you'll catch me forking out the little extra money for some fluorocarbon during those tough times of year, such wintertime and real middle summer, where the temperature is really hot and you're just really having a hard time catching those fish. I'll fork it out then. But other than that, I'll stick to copolymer for my bait catches for most of the year. So a quick recap. Braid floats and should be used in power applications. Fluorocarbon is ultra clear, has very little stretch, and is expensive, so only use this when you can afford it. Mono, like I said earlier, oldie but a goodie, great for a few time of the year fishermen. And if you fish quite a bit but really don't want to fork all that money out, copolymer is a great choice. It is versatile, it's strong, and it is affordable. All of these lines have their advantages and disadvantages, so make sure you're using them how they have been intended to. And I hope this video taught you a little bit more about your fishing lines and which ones to pick up for which applications. But like always, until next time, get out there and go catch you some fish.